right, the MCU 5th phase is here. Ant-Man Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania is out, and I saw it last night. So I thought I'd give a review today, first one on the channel. So hopefully if you like these kind of quick reviews, let me know in the comments below. And obviously this is Ant-Man Part 3, so it does continue the story from the first two in a pretty good way. It launches off some new villains. The next big villain is in this movie. And this review will be spoiler free, but I will go over some of the, known story elements already. And so obviously the main character, Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, returns, and Evangeline Lilly as the Wasp of Lost fame. Yes, I loved her as Kate in Lost. But it also introduces, some new actors to the Marvel Universe, including Catherine Newton, who took over as Cassie. She wasn't the Cassie from Endgame. It's a different actress, and I guess there's a thing online about people, fanboys raging that they changed actresses. But I mean, as Cassie, I think she did a phenomenal job in the movie. She was totally believable, and she looks the part. She actually looks pretty similar to the little girl from Ant-Man, 1 and 2, Cassie, as she was a little girl grown up. So I have zero complaints about that. She had a cool costume. Her acting was super believable as, part of the family, and a great addition to the franchise. The other major new actor is Kang himself, played by Jonathan Majors. And overall, the movie was good, but Jonathan Majors was probably easily the shining part of the movie, which is great because we're going to be seeing a lot of him because he's the major villain, Kang the Conqueror, from this phase of the MCU. So everybody knows phase 1 to 3 of the MCU, Thanos was basically the main overarching villain behind the scenes, and everything led up to his defeat at the end of phase 3. Phase 4 was more of a transition phase. It was mostly the TV shows, but there were some movies in there, and there were some good ones too. Some people don't like a lot of the phase 4 stuff, comparatively speaking to the phase 3 stuff. But there was definitely some good stuff in phase 4. Eternals and Multiverse of Madness are probably my lowest two. I'm not really a fan of Sam Raimi, but there was definitely some great movies in there. Spider-Man, Wakanda Forever, Shang-Chi was great, Black Widow was pretty good. And yes, I even like Thor Love and Thunder, which is very polarizing, but it shouldn't be. So back to Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Like I said, Kang's the new villain. Jonathan Majors did a phenomenal acting job at bringing Kang to life. You can see the motivation behind his acts, and you really got a sense of fear from him, what he could do. And that was a little bit part of the problem with the movie, too, also, is Kang was so powerful. He's so super powered. He's just vaporizing and conquering people all movie, and Ant-Man seemed a little out of his class. And I won't go into spoilers, but Kang has, through the course of the movie, let it known that he has fought certain characters in different timelines, and he's won all of them. And the way they did Kang's powers, he just seems like completely over the top and untouchable. And so it was honestly kind of hard to believe that this ragtag, Ant-Man and this tiny little wasp lady can take him down, right? And I won't go through the movie. If they do take him down or whatever, that's for you to see. But just the power level they put him at, because he is the next big threat in the Marvel Universe. Obviously, they have to make him strong. But it seemed so overwhelming during the movie, is really, how is Ant-Man going to defeat him? The other two returning characters are obviously Michael Douglas and Michelle Pfeiffer. They're still hanging around. And Michelle Pfeiffer is another shining role in the movie. She is killer in anything she is in. And the plot of the movie centers around her time in the Quantumverse. In between Ant-Man 1 and 2, she was trapped there for 30 years. So, in those 30 years, she obviously just didn't sit around, right? So she had some adventures. She met certain people. She forged relationships. She learned different languages and stuff like that. And this movie goes through all that sort of thing. But it does it in a great way because obviously she saw something fearful down there too. And that's not much of a spoiler. That's from all the trailers, right? Something is in the Quantumverse that she's terrified of, that she hasn't told people of. And this, the movie starts out with them sort of getting drawn back into the Quantumverse, the quantum realm, and having to escape. And I really do like the family dynamic they put in there. Everyone's just different enough to be believable as a family with different interests, different, skill sets and stuff like that. I think the movie really shined in that regard in making, a believable story about a believable family. Some people make mistakes. But at the end of the day, they're a tight-knit, loving family. And other than the actors, another sort of character in the movie is just the world, the quantum world that they go into. It's definitely different than what we've seen in the past. There's a civilization down there. There's people. There's aliens. A lot of the cast of characters that they meet down there are great additions to the universe. And the world building was pretty amazing. It was pretty unique, just like the cast of characters down there. The friends and the anti-friends that they met are all really cool additions to the Ant-Man realm, including a classic Marvel villain, which I didn't know was in the movie. It's sort of in the trailers, and it definitely left an impression on me and my kids. I'll just say he was very well done for such a dumb character in the comic books, and he turned out to be one of the funniest, fun parts of the movie. One of the things that didn't quite feel right about the movie is they actually filmed the movie with those screens that the Mandalorian sort of made famous. Those like LCD wraparound screens that they film in front of instead of green screens nowadays. And I could definitely tell the change in philosophy behind that, because a lot of the shots in the movie are either large, super wide, CGI only shots, but then there's no medium shots. It's either those big wide CGI shots or the super narrow shots close up with the actors, and you can tell they're in front of a screen. There wasn't a lot of immersive set pieces, and I could see that. Going into it, I knew that they were going to do it for this movie, and I couldn't unsee it as I was sitting there. I could tell the composition of some of the shots looked very constrained, if that makes sense. Very claustrophobic. But overall, obviously, the CGI is normal Marvel CGI. It's killer, you know what I mean? There was nothing that stood out as completely, not good or unprofessional or anything like that. Obviously, Marvel has a CGI pipeline like no one else, right? So anyone who complains about that is probably just nitpicking. And it's definitely hard to see how it's going to interchange with the other Marvel movies and how it is going to start building up to another Thanos-type villain, maybe another 10-year plan or something like that. Maybe not necessarily 10 years exactly. But I would say if you are expecting some big epic like Endgame, Infinity War sort of thing, this is just the first step, right? So don't overthink it. Don't be too critical of it, because it is the first step in Phase 5. It's setting up a lot of things. But this is the transition movie that's going to lead us into Phase 5. So I would just say don't be too critical of it based on that fact. So overall, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, I think was a great addition to the Marvel Universe. Great start to Phase 5. I definitely enjoyed it. The kids enjoyed it. There was some stuff that wasn't perfect, but overall, it was a good addition to the universe, and especially the extra credit scenes gets me excited for what's coming next. There's 2 of them now. 2 of them. Stay in the theater. Stay in your seat. I thought the pacing was good. The special effects were good. The only thing I would say is it definitely looked a little stagey. Either big wide shots or the small sort of stage shots. Hey, there's a screen behind us. But other than that, I liked it a lot. So for the first movie, MCU Phase 5, I'm going to give Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, a 9 out of 10. Congratulations for making it to the end of a video. Thanks for the support by subscribing and following. My links below. And if you want cool merch like our Bloody Star channel shirt, go to shop.enemyzero.com. Take care.